All right, so this is how you navigate OpenCourt. You'll go to the my.mheducation.com website, use my logins, and then click login. Then you'll click on Texas OpenCourt Reading, the orange words here. So at the top left is where you'll find whatever lesson you need to be on for the day. So I'm going to model finding the lesson for when we go back to school. So we'll be on Unit 2, Lesson 3, Day 1. So you'll click that, and then this page should pop up. So each section is a different piece of the lesson, and there's a drop down arrow that'll give you detailed information about what you're supposed to say during the lesson. So it looks pretty overwhelming, but don't worry, it's not as overwhelming as it looks. So on our planning rotation, one second. Okay, so on our planning rotation and pacing calendar, I have listed out what you need to teach for each lesson. So for example, the lesson that I'm showing you is Unit 2, Lesson 3, Day 1. So for that lesson, we're going to do blending, about the words, about the sentences, and spelling. All right, so the OpenCourt book that you have has all of the written information in it. So it'll be helpful when you have the e-presentation open on your computer and you have the book by your side so you can read what you're supposed to say. But to get to the e-presentation, you're going to click e-presentation in the top right. It'll open up as a new tab, and the first thing that you will use will pop up. Now at the bottom, there's a grid, and it allows you to skip around. So say you didn't want to play one of these sound cards, you could skip to blending words or blending sentences. So I'm going to quickly model how to use the e-presentation when teaching a lesson, but I'm going to be going back and forth between the tabs because I don't have a book and I want to see what it is that I need to read to children. All right, let's get it popping. So by the end of the lesson, we are going to learn about the long A, long E, long A, long I, long O, and long U. But we're only going to focus on the spellings A consonant E, I consonant E, O consonant E, and U consonant E. So before we get started and blending words together, we're going to listen to the sound spelling card for each long vowel. How do I know that these are long vowels? Can anyone tell me how I know that this is a long vowel? Because it has a yellow background and red letters. The yellow background lets me know that it is a long vowel. So I got that information from here. Ask students what the yellow background color on each card means. And then you can also have them ask students identify the spelling they have learned. So after I have them tell me why the card is yellow and what's it mean, then I'll play the sound spelling card.
Long A. Long A plays on a windy day. She sails on the lake. When Long A chases waves, what does she say? A, A, A. Long A plays on a sunny day. She skates along the trail. When Long A sees a snake, what does she say? A, A, A. Long A plays on a rainy day. She creates a new game. When long A pretends to be a plane, what does she say? A, A, A.
Awesome. So once the sound spelling card is over, it's so important to remind students, what vowel were we learning? Long A. What spelling are we focusing on? A consonant
A.
E. All right. So then you could close this out because you're done. And you'll go back to the e-presentation and you can click the right arrow and it'll take you to the next step. So it'll take you through each sound spelling card. So you'll go through A, I, O, and U. So next, we're going to blending words. And you'll see down here where you can learn what you should say when you're blending each word. So it says, remind students that inflectional endings are word parts that are added to the end of a base word. Tell them inflectional endings do not change the meaning of the word. They change only the form or function of the word. So a word like cold and colder. Cold still means cold, and so does colder, but it changes the function. So it's colder than something else. It has a lower temperature than something else. So you'll go and you'll click on blending words. And then this screen will pop up. So you'll click the arrow. Anything in yellow is what you would blend. So this routine, if you look here, it says use routine 2, the whole word blending routine, to have students blend and read the words in the lines. That just means that you won't sound out each letter. It's going to pop up as one whole word, and you say the word and the students say the word. So this will pop up, and you could say word, they should say same. Word. So you'll continue to click through and instruct the students to say the word. So you could just say word apron, word wife, word diet. Now, if students are struggling, then of course you want to break it down. D, I, et, diet. But because they've learned these sounds before and it's more of a review, they should be able to go through each word and tell you the word without blending it. So sometimes if they want them to blend, each letter will pop up individually. So I'll try to go back and find an example of when that happens. So you go through each word, each row to blend. In the book, or on the system, it'll say about the words. So about the words gives you what to ask or say after each row. So you'll do all the words in row 1, and then you can have students identify the long A and long I spelling in the words. So you would look at the first row and say, okay guys, what long A or long I spellings do you see in the words? Let's look at the word same. How is the long A spelled? The answer should be A consonant M. Good. So you have the vowel here and then the sneaky silent E. What long vowel spelling do we see in the word wife? I consonant E. So you'll read through these and ask the questions to get students thinking about the words. So still in row 1, ask students to identify the multisyllabic word in the line. So multisyllabic means that it has more than one syllable. So which words in line 1 have more than one syllable? Let's try. If they're struggling, then you can clap out the syllables. Let's try same. Same. I only hear one syllable. Let's do apron. Apron. Wow, I hear 2. So that word has more than one syllable, so it is a multisyllabic word. And then lastly, have them explain how they know these words have two syllables. Each word has two vowel sounds and spelling, so each word has two syllables. So you can clap them out. And then we also know that a word with two syllables has two vowels, like the A and the O here in apron. So you'll go through each row and ask them about the words in each row. Then when you're done blending, you'll go back to the e-presentation and click on blending sentences. Here you're going to click through and they should read along with you. Mona refuses to wipe another table. So another is underlined because it's one of the sight words for the day. Then you will do the second sentence. Many of the rarest fine stones are a shade of red. So after you blend the sentences, I like to have them read it fluently or read it in a scary voice or a baby voice just to make it more fun. And then you'll identify the two sight words. And then just like about the words, we have about the sentences. So you're going to be reviewing superlative endings and reviewing the underlined high frequency sight word. So ask students to identify the word with the superlative ending. So that's a word that ends in EST. Have volunteers read the words with the target sounds and identify the spellings. So you can have them identify the sight words. You can ask them, do you see any words with the long vowel in it? They should be able to say wipe, or table has a long A. Once you're done blending those sentences, you'll exit out, click to the next thing, which is spelling and dictation, and this is the most fun part. So in the book, you'll see the spelling words. So we're skipping developing oral language, and we're skipping guided practice, and we're going to spelling and dictation. So these are the spelling words. So normally we'll just do the first two rows. If they're doing really well, I'll do the challenge words. So basically, you'll tell students, I'm going to say a word, and I want you to listen closely to the word that I'm going to say. You don't have the words displayed. I'm going to say each sound in the word, and I want you to write the word on your whiteboard or paper, whatever they're using. Just spell it to the best of your ability. And then in the end, you want to go over all the words and let them edit their words, count how many they got correct or incorrect. So our first word is whiter. Now you say the word, whiter. Now listen to each sound as I say them. W, I, t, w, I, t, whiter. Now you write the word. And you'll go through all 6 words with them. And you just remind them that it's not a spelling test. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just try your best. This is their chance to practice what they have learned. And so in the end, you will click on dictation and spelling and show them the correct spelling, and they can check their work. And then that would be the end of your phonics lesson for the day. And then as you can see from our planning, the next day would be Unit 2, Lesson 3, Day 2. And you're just going to read a fluency book with them on the e-presentation and then instruct them to get on Lexia. And then Day 3, we'll go back to blending about the words, about the sentences, and spelling. So I just wanted to give you a quick preview. Think of any questions that you have. I know it's a lot, and we'll work through it together.